Hi ELLE UK, I'm Charlotte, co-founder of Buchanan Studio. Welcome to my home, come on in. So this is our living room, and when we first moved in actually there was a doorway there which we closed up, and we put in these double doors here, and we really wanted to be able to close this off and make like the coziest, nestiest place ever. In our kitchen it's super bright and open and airy and it leads on the garden, and we kind of feel like in the summer that's where we spend our time, and in the winter we just spend all our time in here. This is our studio sofa, and as soon as we designed the studio chair we looked at each other straight away and we were like, we've got to do a sofa now. But this is extra deep and extra squishy, like it's even more full of feather, and it is honestly like the coziest thing. You can just kind of have a nap here or watch telly. I'm not ashamed to say I'm a massive TV addict. I guess as a studio we're kind of known for a lot of colour and pattern and print and texture, but for our home and when we design a house we tend to make the backdrop like kind of neutral. So we love white walls, neutrals, and then it means it's kind of like a blank canvas and you're able to move furniture around, try different things, mix it up. With all our products, we do a lot of sort of experimenting with new things here and there, and it's nice to have a super blank canvas backdrop that you can kind of try something out, change your print, wheel in a prototype. So when we moved into this house, it had so many incredible original Edwardian features, and we tried to keep as many of them as we possibly could. We are massively into fireplaces and we love open log roaring fires, but this fireplace unfortunately got too damaged, the original one, when we were moving and when the builders were in, so we had to lose it. But turned out to be for the best, I think, because we put in this amazing travertine fireplace that I just love. We just are obsessed with the mantelpiece. It's just such a nice place to display things you love, things your children bring home from school. So this picture was actually given to us as a wedding present by our great friend Alex Bramwell, who's a photographer. And this, believe it or not, was our wedding entrance when we got married. The funny thing about this is we tried to do a wedding entrance that was ironic. Angus had this idea of a swan pedalo, and we got Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake soundtrack like blaring out in the background, and we got all the ushers to set off like these amazing smoke grenades. And we were sort of approaching all our friends and family who were like on the shore of the lake, and I was like, no one's laughing. Like, oh my God, no one's laughing. Like they think we're for real. They think this is like how we roll. We got there and it just turned into be this like beautiful moment, looking like some, mega kind of Tim Walker, super surreal, brilliant moment. And I mean, you expect no less from a set designer as a husband. I'm really excited about this. It's our studio ottoman. It's one of our latest products, and it's got that same kind of soft curve that the studio sofa and the studio chair have, but we've added these amazing straps in suede. So the top section is this amazing distressed leather that's sort of super textured and also super tactile. You just want to kind of stroke it. And then we're obsessed actually with marble trays. We have them everywhere, and they're amazing because you can fill them with clutter. Some people call it clutter. I call it my obsession with scented candles. And obviously beautiful books. Love a book. This one my sister-in-law gave me and I've never read it, but it looks really nice. Okay, now I'm going to show you my kitchen. So this is our kitchen. This is the only part in the house that's completely new. It's essentially a new build. We knew we wanted a stainless steel kitchen, and this one was actually done by a commercial supplier of ours that we work with on a lot of restaurant projects, and we twisted their arm and said, please do our kitchen. And I'm not sure they'll do residential ever again because it is different than commercial, but I love it. I love the chunky proportions of it, and it's pretty indestructible really. This is my larder, and I never thought I'd be one of those people that would decant things like pasta from their perfectly good packets and put them in different sized jars. I mean, if you knew me when I was younger, it'd be hilarious to you that this is now my life. But it's actually seriously satisfying and practical because it keeps everything super fresh. And then I just love buying little pretty things and putting them on the shelf. And some things are delicious and we actually eat. And some things just look nice, like these sweets are disgusting, but they look kind of cute in a jar, so they stay there. A great tip for organising and it feels so funny that I'm saying this because I didn't used to be an organised person, but the new organised me is buying apple crates and keeping like little jars in it. So these, when they just sort of flop around on a shelf, it's a complete mess. And actually the simplest thing in the world, but just buying a simple crate or box or anything, or basket even, and keeping them all together is so much more clean and organised. And then another great trick is a little skirt curtain to hide mess and yeah, things that you're not decanting into pretty little jars under here. So that's a great trick. And you can also hide treats away from your children. Like all the chocolate in this house actually belongs to me, like these. Another great thing to do with a larder or a pantry, or actually any kind of space that's sort of a room within a room almost, is put in reeded glass. So this is nothing new, but it's so good. So if you have like a dinner or something and actually it gets a bit messy in there and you hide all the washing up, you can just hide it away. So I really want to show you this. This is a beautiful bowl by my friend who's just started an Italian ceramics brand called Buchanan Studio. And look how chic that is. And actually these little egg cups are by her as well. And I'm actually using it as a salt pinch, which is really cute. So this is our dining table, which I think is probably my most favourite thing in the whole house. And we actually sell these in whatever kind of marble you like. And as a dining table, it's just amazing. You really don't need to do anything. You can just like chuck down a knife and fork and no need for tablescaping. It's already just beautiful because of the incredible stone. Something we love as well is the curved edge, because it's so awkward when you get stuck on the corner of a long table and nobody's talking to you. And I love that you can kind of cram everyone round one end and just pile in as many people as you can possibly fit. And these chairs are vintage and we reupholstered them in one of our fabrics. I actually love the combination of marble with a print like this. They go really nice together, and the sort of florals leading you out into the garden is a really nice connection, I think, with the outside and the inside. Okay, now I'm going to show you my bathroom this way. So this is our bathroom. And I guess the first thing you notice when you walk in here are our sheds, as our children actually started calling them, and it's kind of stuck. But they're not sheds. This one hides a shower, and that other one hides our loo. And these doors, we found them at a reclamation yard. I think they were in an old school or something. So we've got a sort of hidden shower screen in there. People have sort of drawn different comparisons of what these remind them of, but my favourite, I think, is like a Knickerbocker Glory Brighton beach shed. So I'm going to stick with that one. It was born out of practical reason, really, which is like, you know, in a big room that has a bath and is somewhere you want to relax, it's not that nice to necessarily always be like staring at a loo. It started with the loo, and it was like, how do we hide the loo? And how do we do that in a way that's visual and fun? And I think of all the rooms in a house, a bathroom is just a place that, as a studio, we tend to kind of be the most adventurous, perhaps. I also just love this entire situation, which I actually can't take much credit for. It's Angus. We spent ages trawling reclamation yards, antique sites, and eventually found this beautiful double pedestal Art Deco sink. I get really excited about this sink. It's quite tragic, really. And the taps are all original, and like the plug, I mean, that is just the most satisfying thing in the world, if you can believe it. And then we put in this Calcutta Viola marble, because you've got to have some marble in a bathroom, I think. This area of the house is probably my favourite place in the whole thing. It's just, I love the symmetry, I love the pattern, I love all the textures going on. It's just great. When we moved into this house, we knew that our bathroom needed to just be indulgent and somewhere we wanted to spend loads of time, and life's pretty crazy these days, so having a bath is a serious luxury. Continuing our love of like open fire, we knew we wanted to, this is an original fireplace, we knew we wanted to open it up and have an open fire by the bath, because there is just nothing more luxurious than a bubble bath next to an open fire. So we're very lucky to have that. And then this is actually a vintage, I think it's Edwardian or if not Victorian, pond yacht. I mean, how chic is this, that like in the Victorian days, kids would be playing with these on like massive lakes. I mean, now they play with Paw Patrol, our kids do anyway. So I'm going to show you the bedroom next, which leads kind of through there off our bathroom. So this is our bedroom, something we're obsessed with in our own bedroom certainly, but most of the bedrooms and the projects we do as well, is keeping the colour palette like super calming. I think spare bedrooms are an amazing place, in my opinion, to have fun, but in my own room, I just want to feel like completely calm and relaxed. This is an amazing canopy frame that Ang's designed. It's super lightweight, and I feel like in some rooms, especially smaller bedrooms, if you want sort of a canopy bed or a full poster bed, it can feel quite oppressive and swallow up the entire room. And this kind of just feels like it's floating, almost don't notice it, and it doesn't kind of impact on the room too much, but it still gives you that amazing, like, indulgent, cocoony feeling when you're in the bed. If you can fit a sofa in a bedroom, I just think it's always an amazing idea. This is a cream boucle. And it's funny, people, especially people with kids like us, just worry so much about cream boucle. But actually, if you want a neutral, boucle is so clever because you genuinely don't notice little marks here and there because of the texture and the sort of shadow. You just don't notice the odd mark. I mean, don't like go and throw a glass of red wine on it because I can't help you with that. But just little grubby fingers from kids actually works perfectly fine. So this antique wardrobe, I love. It's followed us around several houses now in various forms. It used to have a bar in our last house, used to have laundry in the house before that. I love it's got the original glass, which they just don't make furniture like this anymore, but it's got that like wobble in the glass that is just amazing. I love it. So I was on Google and I was like, I wish I could buy antique books in pink by the metre. And then I was like, you can, of course you can. Isn't Google amazing? And actually they're not just pretty, they are really interesting books that I might eventually get around to reading one day. Okay, last up, I'm going to show you our kids' bathroom because I think it's my favourite room of all. But actually first, I just want to show you this architrave that we just love. We've got a couple of them in the house and we bought them ages ago at a reclamation yard and we didn't really know what we were going to do with them. They're actually Edwardian and then we ended up moving into an Edwardian house, so they kind of just work perfectly here. Something we like to do a lot in our projects is an element of kind of surprise and delight. So behind this kind of traditional, quirky doorway, you have an unexpected treat on the senses, which is this tiling sensation. So this whole room actually is an extension, and it was as basic as it gets, like literally the most boring blank box of an extension. So we wanted to do something to make it interesting. And we landed with this, which I just love and am obsessed with. It's not for everyone, but we're obsessed. And so it's got the yellow and the pink and the white, and it could be sickly, but it weirdly isn't. And I think it's helped because it's grounded by the monochrome checkerboard floor, which is actually a nod to what might have been in the entrance hallway of a house like this when it was originally built. And then we've got the pink 3-piece bathroom suite. This was actually genuinely chosen by our 5-year-old daughter at the time. And whenever she has play dates with her friends, I kind of like to listen because she shows them the bathroom and she's like, there's a pink bath. And they're like, there's a pink bath. It's a small room, but we spend a lot of time as a family in here, weirdly. When we get back from work, we kind of come here, bath the children. One of us sits here. We catch up with the kids. If it's a Friday, we have a glass of wine, and our children get terribly excited because they're allowed to have crisps in the bath, which is really fun for like hosing out soggy crisps down the drain later. Anyway, it's just very uplifting, fun space that doesn't take itself too seriously. Thank you so much for having me at ELLE UK on My Style, My Space. Hope you found it interesting having a little snoop around my house and hopefully found some interesting tips that maybe you can use. And speaking of kids, mine are about to come back, so I need to get those salt and vinegar crisps ready or they'll be disappointed. So bye!